Okay, so I get it. You are looking around every corner. You're thinking to yourself, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what money to make. I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to fix the problem that's in front of me. Cash flow feels like it's just drying up. And you're finding yourself in a place of decision land, but you don't even know what to decide on. The greatest thing you have right now is most of the stuff you already have. In this journey, I'm going to show you how to take what you already have and how to repackage it so that way it's a new product to the market and something that you can fulfill easily.
Hey you, welcome to Build the Damn Thing, a place where myself, Tiffany Largy, and our amazing Do the Damn Thing coaches show you how to use your story to build it all. Whether it's your first 6 figures, your next layer of multiple 6 figures, or maybe you're on your way to $1 million. And if it's not that, it's the life of your dreams, where you are free, you are strong, and you are whole. First, we're going to show you how to use your story to build a strong foundation. And then next, we're going to show you how to use your story in sales and marketing to clean up the cracks. And last but not least, we're going to show you how to use your story to gather people. Because truth of the matter is that there's nothing stronger than being connected to people who just understand you as you are, where you are, so you can stop explaining yourself. I want to remind you that now that you're here, you are home, and I officially welcome you to our family. All right, let's get started.
Now, I got a shot glass in my hand, and I got it with good reason. Now, stay with me. This is not a conversation about whiskey. This is a conversation about truth and how products get moved and how you can make more money with what you already have. But sometimes we get this crazy idea that innovation is going to be the way to save the day. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want you taking this stuff out of context. And Tiffany said that you don't need to innovate. No, I believe that Peter Drucker, if that's the guy's name, I believe he's wrong. You know, he says that it's innovation and whatchamacallit that takes us to the door of more money. But I believe that sales has to be part of that conversation. I think it's a 3-part way. Now, the question of the day is, what do I do? How do I... Who do I, where do I start? Now, this is a shot glass, and I want to start with this. And if you're looking with us on camera, on video, you'll see that I'm holding a Do the Damn Thing shot glass from one of my companies. Now, I'm also wearing a Do the Damn Thing shirt. That is not to represent Do the Damn Thing. It is to talk about how I took something that already existed and I resold it to the market. Now I'm going to break this down frame by frame. I'm going to start with products and then we're going to move on to services. So here we have a shot glass. And the truth is that this is any old shot glass. Now, would I argue and say it's heavy, it's clean, it looks delicious? Yes, absolutely. But the truth of the matter is that we took a shot glass and we put our logo on it and it creates a brand new product. The shot glass by itself might retail sale for, I don't know, $3 or $4, but this same exact shot glass, once I add our logo on it in black at that, it becomes $14.99. Now, if I were to change this to, let's say, like we did our shirt, and on this shirt that I'm wearing, it's our traditional Do the Damn Thing logo, but what we've done is we created this one true to the country that I'm from, Jamaica, and now it has a Jamaican flag in it. All of a sudden, I have a brand new product. The truth of the matter is I really didn't have to resize the shot glass. I didn't need to create something new. I didn't need to do something heavier. No, you know what I did? I simply took the same thing and I put something new on it, a new spin, and now I put it out to the market as a new product. My first question before we even go any further is, what product do you have right now that's sitting around your office, sitting on your computer, sitting on a file that you haven't looked at, folder you haven't looked at in a really long time? What did you create for a workshop 6 years ago? What did your team roll out as the new process of how we're going to attack the market? What are you sitting on right now that you could actually resell to the market, but has the old skin that you started with? What if you took something that you had right now and you simply slapped a new skin on it, a new cover, your logo in a different color? Even if you weren't selling shot glasses or any product for that had a logo on it, what if you simply put a phrase on it? What if you put something that was customer centric? For example, if I were a plumber, if I owned a plumbing company, I might actually create something that says, I like clean pipes, or I like to pipe clean. That sounds a little tricky. But to a customer who's like, man, we have this problem solved, or we really like XYZ Clumpy, they drink at home. Selling a $5 shot glass after the sale is not crazy. You could call it an anniversary edition. You could call it a special. You can make it something as just an incentive for customers because a customer is so flipping awesome that you're like, hey, we want to give this to you. Now, I just talked about it accompanying a sale that you have. For us, this accompanies our high ticket sales. So we might sell a product or service in one of our companies that's, I don't know, $5, $10, $15, $20,000. And it doesn't sound like a big deal when we sell a $15 to $25 shot glass, but do the math with me. If I sell an additional, I don't know, 100 of these for the year, 200 of these for the year, you know what I've done? Yes, I've improved cash flow. It might seem like just a little, but now I found a way to fund or fundraise for the camping trip I want to do for the team, or for the new camera we need to buy for one of our studios, or for ... The other way I want you to think about this idea. So, and in this, I'm going to walk you through a handful of different scenarios because they're selling one and then they're selling them in pairs. So when we started selling these products, we actually did not sell them one-on-one. You could only buy the Do the Damn Thing shot glass for that company in pairs. And the reason why is because financially, it didn't make enough sense for me to go, well, I'm going to sell this to you one-on-one. It's going to take a hell of a lot of time. But what I did is I was like, okay, great. This thing is $9 on its own, or you can get two for, I think, $15.99. We still made roughly, I don't know, somewhere between 35 and probably 45% margin. We sent hundreds of these out the door, and boom, now we have a brand new revenue source in our company simply by taking something we already had and adding it to something new. Is this innovative? I don't think so. A lot of people are drinking, starting with me. Now, the other way I want you to think about this is I have two really cool bottles here, and I'm going to hold them up on camera so that you can see them. I say really cool because I personally like the shape and look of these bottles, but both of them are whiskey. Now, to a non-whiskey drinker, these don't look like much. But to a consumer, there's a couple of things that we can gather. One, we don't even see the bottle. We see this mysterious kind of case that you can shake and assume that there's a bottle inside. And two, we see this, I don't know what kind of shape this is, bottle. But both of these are sold in the store and on the same shelf. But you know what's different? This one sells for $100 odd, and this one sells for probably $29.99. Now, the reason why I'm highlighting this is because the truth of the matter is that if Crown Royal, which is blended Canadian fine whiskey, is it really fine? Blended, can Canadians even create anything? You know, this is a different conversation. I can't get into that right now. You people are not ready for it because you people start drinking Tim Hortons. Let's get focused. So in this, if they were to take the time and they created like an anniversary edition and they stuck this thing in a bottle that kind of looked like this, and they said, hey, people, this is an anniversary edition. An anniversary of what? An anniversary of who? But they simply told the consumer that there was an anniversary edition that you could get in a bottle or a glass case or a little box. You know what would happen? They'd be able to sell this thing for 2 to 3 times the price. Now, this was given to me by a client that I had years ago, and she's awesome. She actually doesn't drink whiskey, but I drink whiskey so much as part of just my life and lifestyle that she actually shipped it to our office. And she said that her son, who was a big time whiskey drinker, whoa, this is almost empty. Okay, so surprise. I don't want to disappoint you. Think this is a full bottle. I mean, we are still in business. Okay, but the truth of the matter is that this bottle is beautiful on its own. I mean, look at it. There's this super cool, hold on. Did you hear that? Sweet Jesus. There's this, hold on, listen. You heard that? There's this whole plastic wax, cool looking thing that closes the bottle. The cleanliness and the simplicity of this bottle assets, it's beautiful on its own, and they could easily fetch $39.99, $49.99 for it. Once they slapped this bad boy into this case, they got to call it elite. What happened when I got this thing, I was excited. I was stupidly excited. Sometimes what we have to do is look at what we have and add a case around it. Imagine if you took that product program course, and if it's not that, maybe it's a service. Maybe you have a annual fire safety service for your chimney business. Maybe it's not that. Maybe you're looking at a booklet that you guys created that was a 10 tips for such and such for the home. Like, I don't know what it is that you have, but the idea of taking the contents and discarding it as old simply because we created it a year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I mean, stay with me on this thought. What's interesting about this is that they're like, this Joker was established in 1879 and how somehow I'm excited about drinking it. They probably have the same formula. They probably have the same essence. I don't know who James Fleming is, which is his name right up here. I have no clue who the guy was. You know how excited I was to drink this simply because there was a case around it. You know, for pennies on the dollar, you could take what it is you offer right now and you could add a box on it. Companies like Uline, even Amazon, will sell you 50 boxes for like $14.99. You could buy a company sticker, kind of like how we did our logo, except we didn't use a sticker for this, but you could use the same concept. You could slap it on a box, put contents inside, and ship it out to your customer. And now you call it a kit. Sometimes in order to make new money, you have to get creative. I want you to know that even as I take out this bottle, I was enamored. Look at this. The thing came off. Do you understand what I'm talking about right now? Look, man, that sound though, boy. So when I got this, I was excited to drink it because I'm a big whiskey drinker. I love whiskey. I really love bourbon, but every so often, whiskey really makes my heart melt. Now, in drinking this, there's a couple of things that I noticed. I'm like, man, in theory, I have 2 brown liquors, respectively. They look the same. So what differentiates one product from the next? When you're trying to stand out from your customer or competitor, for the person who is a whiskey drinker, let me tell you, sometimes the darkness of the whiskey, and if you see on camera, the Crown Royal is a bit darker than the actual super sophisticated high-end one created by James Fleming. And typically when you're a whiskey drinker, you're looking for depth. It's like a good Cabernet, right? And I would look at this and assume that this is better. But the truth of the matter is that this one came in a whole box, a container, packaging. The thing that differentiates these two things is its packaging. Some of my favorite products that I'll spend endless amounts of money on are always going to stay at the top of my willing to pay for simply because of the packaging around it. Look at Apple. I'm sorry, Google. I know you Android users are going to try and swear blind that you guys have a packaging. The thing's covered when y'all get it. But you cannot touch what Apple does in the market. Apple's packaging is so delicious that I'm like, I don't even want to get rid of this thing. I'm just trying to put it under my bed forever to do what? Who the hell knows? Does it even matter? I'm excited about getting the damn box. Imagine if you looked at the things you already had either individually or collectively and you put them into a kit. If this were me and I were selling this, some of the things that I'd put in here, okay, that would up the value for me. Now, the bottle's enough. And I want you to know, cheers to me. Cheers to James Fleming. It's pretty good, but here's the crown. That crown is money. James got a story to tell, but the packaging is what makes it exciting. Now, a couple of things he could have done, which would have upped the value. He could have copied a company like 19 Crimes. You ever seen a 19 Crimes wine bottle? People sleep on that thing. There is a whole app, and you can get the app, and you take the app, and you scan the hell out of the front of the wine bottles, and it tells you the whole story about who did the crime and what they did, and this whole movie played. If they would have maybe put in a little insert, maybe a little map, maybe they could have shown me where this was from. They took a lot of time to give me this handwritten feel and let me know that this thing was bottled in Scotland. I'm all the way in the US. Tell me something about Scotland. Tell me where it comes from. Give me a little map, maybe a little history. The truth of the matter is that I'm willing to pay for the product that gives me an experience. Sometimes the way to make more money is not actually about innovating and creating something new. It's simply about taking what you already have and either individualizingly packaging it or putting it all together in one big package with a new price point, maybe a new color, a new name, a new sticker, and sending it out the door. Do the math with me. You sold it in the past for $100, right? Great. This thing was $100. Amazing. But let's say you took the $100 item, but you reprinted it with your country's logo, or maybe it's National Women's Month, or it's breast cancer awareness, or autism awareness, or maybe every year you are connected to an organization that gives to Black Lives Mattering. Regardless of the outlet in which you are supporting something in the world and you're sitting in your region, the truth is that, believe it or not, with a new color, it becomes a new product. Just with a new font, it becomes a new product. You resize the way this thing is sent out, it becomes a new product. You could be creating products all the time based on what you already have simply by changing the face of it once a month. There is a method and a madness to making new money. So making new money is not always about being innovative. And the reason why I don't like innovation at times or getting creative for our clients, especially our clients who are like, okay, we're doing 800,000, 900,000. They had a dip. Now they're short 220,000 because something happened. They got to quickly build cash. The last thing I want them to do is go build something new in a new way, in a new direction. That takes energy and effort that they don't have. That takes mental capacity that they just don't have. That takes resources that maybe they have, but they're a little too dusty and rusty, and it takes a long time for them to get them oiled up, get them ready to be used. So what I know for sure is that going back to the basics and selling what worked in the past with a new skin is it. It reminds me of this time of many times in history, even in my own history, as I think of like, how did the person turn a new wheel? You know, a lot of people think that Henry Ford actually invented cars. Did you know that? It's so funny. A lot of people think he invented cars. You know, he didn't invent cars. He just created the system. He actually did not invent cars. Cars were created, I believe, in Germany. And I think it's the Volkswagen people. Oh, gosh, sorry.
That's my first car.
Really? Your first car?
Volkswagen Pop.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so sweet. So it's the Volkswagen people who create the first car, or it's Germany's. You know what? Hold on, everybody. I'm so sorry. I'm possibly so sorry because I said Germany's and I said it twice with emphasis and confidence and clarity. No, it's the Germany's. It's the Germany's. I said it with fervor also. Cheers to me. So it's the Germans who created, I believe, the first vehicle. And I'm sure someone's going to argue and be like, no, it was a country in, Slovakia or something. It was in Europe somewhere. I'm clear. But what Henry Ford did is he took the same thing, he took it up the flagpole, and he created a system for it. And in the US, we deem him as the hero. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't deem him as the hero, but I really want to show you just a simple example of you really don't have to create a new thing in order to be the hero in your industry. You just need to know how to package it right. And what he did is he packaged it right. He took this thing called the automobile, and he basically said to the average American, everybody can have one. Everybody can have one of these things, and everybody can have them right where you are with what you can afford with the job you already have. And then he gave everybody the confidence to go out and entertain the idea of having one. Game changer. Imagine if you took either the product that you have or one that's right around the corner. So for me, truthfully, we didn't always have shot glasses, but I was always drinking. I was like, whoa, wait a second. We're always doing the thing, and we do it with our customers and clients. Go ahead and judge me if this is your moment of going, Tiffany, I can't believe you. Be clear that where I'm from, we drink in happiness and times of joy, and we drink with friends. And one of the greatest things luxuries that I've had in building all of these businesses and a worldwide brand is this ability to connect with friends. Now, for years, we had been drinking in a public way, and I was like, what goes with drinking? Perfect. I created a product to complement the act that we already have. Game changer number 3. So sometimes the way to just create cash out of nowhere is to start selling something that complements what you're already doing. Think about it right now at this moment. What are you sitting on that you're already doing that you're not selling? We had been drinking on camera, not all the time, We drink during something called night school. Night school for one of the companies called Do the Damn Thing is one of my favorite things ever. And what's so cool about it is that it's just neat way where all these humans from around the world get together. They love on each other, sure, but they love on themselves. And they learn how to put their money game together. They learn how to build their business, their marketing, et cetera, their strategy, blah, 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 blah. So I had been drinking, but I'd be using all these shot glasses. And I was like, man, why aren't we taking a Do the Damn Thing shot? When I came out of this, game changer. People wanted them all the time. And then they wanted this, and then they wanted a shirt, because when they attended night school, they wanted to be geared up. They wanted to be popping. They wanted to be cool and collective. It sounds simple, but what could you do with 100 sales of $49.99? What could you do with 300 sales of $300? What could your company do with 20 sales of $1,000 every single month? Do not underestimate what you can do with the things that you already have, not what's sitting in your closet, but things that you've already put time, energy, and effort. If there was a meeting that I would have with my team in the next 30 days, it would go just like this. Dear team, what do you think? Well, tell me, what are some of the favorite things that you've ever created, that we've created either together or you've watched me create or you've created in the last 2 years that you thought was brilliant, that didn't get off the shelf, that we didn't put out into the market, that we really didn't get a good run with it, that you said, man, I really believe that would work. That's the first meeting I would have. And if I didn't have a team or I didn't want to involve my team, I'd sit down, book some time, and do it myself, because chances are you've already created something brilliant. It's worth $500,000, $1 million, $10 million. And if you're just willing to take it off the shelf, dust it off a little bit, put a package around it, this thing would be a game changer, and you'd be running all the way to the bank and save all the money problems in front of you now. It's just that simple. I don't care what it is that you create. I can only pray that you take this madness of an episode of me trying to walk through the truth of a $100 bottle. So this retails for about $100. And I thought it was still great. It's beautiful. It's aesthetically sound. And it's really good. But is it the best whiskey I've ever had? No. Did I love that crown? Absolutely. Can I think of 2 or 3 other whiskeys that are not priced at $100 that I'd totally get? Yes. But the truth is, would I buy this whiskey again? Yes, I would buy it for the experience. Be clear that the person who wants to buy from you, I don't care what you sell, they also want an experience. And if you give them an experience, if you're willing to give them an experience with the products and services that they have with you, you would easily up your dollar value or customer acquisition, ladder build by at least 50, 60, 70%, you would definitely 10 or 20x effortlessly. For me, that's the best way for you to build the next quarter and take the pressure out of the question of how the hell do I make more money and how do I change the game?
I hope that episode was amazing for you and you are closer to building the damn thing. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts were, what part you loved, and the action that you're going to go take, because the truth of the matter is that the person who wins is not the person who gets there first. It's the person who takes action first. Now, I've got a gift for you, and it is at www.stracthustle.com. It is imperative that you run there and you see all types of goodies, starting with the 7 must-haves that you've got to put when telling your story. There is so much deliciousness awaiting for you. I would love nothing more than for you to go ahead and give us a thumbs up and a 5-star review on not just this episode, but this entire series of How Do You Build the Damn Thing. Like always, if there's anything that we can do to make your week, day, or month better, please let us know. And more importantly, I can't wait to see you live. Whether it's at Do the Damn Thing Live or in one of our communities, or maybe you're just hanging out with us on social media. What I know to be true is that I am meant to connect with you somewhere, and I can't wait for that day to happen. And more importantly, I can't wait to see what you build.